Good morning. We're going to go on and get started. And Ken Goldman, if you can let me know that you can hear me or not in our chat, that would be great. Okay. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you for spending your lunchtime with us. We appreciate that. You've all been muted for voice and video. If you have a question at any point, and put it in the Q&A panel. And if we don't get to it today, we will get back to you with the email address that you registered with. We are recording the webinar, so we will get you a copy of that shortly after probably a few days. Give us to get it done. A big thank you to our sponsors and community partners. It is because of these people that we are able to bring you these kinds of webinars at free to low cost, and we appreciate their support and work with us. Couple of minutes about SCORE here in case you haven't worked with us yet. SCORE was formed in 1964 as a resource partner of the Small Business Administration, and we've helped more than 11 million people grow their businesses. Our mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education. We do that by providing free business advice and mentoring, offering low or no cost business training, and sharing free business templates and resources. You registered for our webinar today on our website. All of this information is also on our website at score.org. And thanks to our volunteers, we're able to provide a lot of this. We have over 10,000 volunteers serving clients in over 1,500 communities. We like to say that if I, as a mentor, don't have the answer that you need, I have 10,000 friends at my beck and call that can help us find the answer for you. The webinar you're in today is from I Did a Business Plan. You're here because you have an idea and maybe you're not quite sure how to get it to the next stage. That's what this webinar is for today. And our agenda, we're going to go through 3 fits for business success. And then we're going to go through each fit in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to give you a really, really high level overview, and then we'll go through each step, and then we'll take questions at the end. Okay, you should be here if you have an idea, but you haven't sold anything yet. Or maybe you've sold some, but you're really struggling to grow consistently, or you feel like you've capped out on your growth, or you have a product and it's just not selling. So you're at that kind of I need to grow stage. You shouldn't be here if you've already got a great product and it's growing and you're just looking for financing or business advice. We won't cover anything about business or legal structures in this webinar, or anything about banking, financing, or accounting. You can talk to your SCORE mentor about that, but we aren't going to cover that today. So hopefully a lot of you will stick around here for the rest of this. Your host today, I am Lisa Beige. I am your primary host. A big thanks to Ken Goldman, who has volunteered to help me watch the Q&A panel. You'll be seeing him as you answer questions. Okay, 3 fits for business success. A lot of entrepreneurial groups talk about this stuff, and I've pulled a lot of the images that I've used out of Strategizer. If you work with SCORE, you may have heard the business model canvas. That's the same group. So Strategizer does a lot of other information. That's what I'm going to go through with you today. So the 3 types of fit as an entrepreneur that you've got to get your business through. You're going to start at that first level on the bottom right-hand corner with the big 1 that says problem solution fit. Find a customer, figure out what they want to get done that they will pay you to do for them. That's your problem solution fit. Your product market fit is, okay, now you've got your idea, you got your product out there, but you're going to put it out in the market and make sure that you've developed a product that solves a problem that customers care enough about to pay you the price you need to make your business viable. That's your product market fit. And then once, if you've got your product market fit done, now you're ready to really scale your business up, put some real money into it and get it to grow even faster. That's when you're looking at business model fit. That's when you need the business model that is scalable and profitable. That's the general framework we're going to go through today. So real high level problem solution fit. You have a solution to a problem your target customers care about. At this point, you've figured out you've got a product that effectively solves a customer's problem. And I know that sounds really basic, but this is the point where a lot of businesses fail. You've got to figure out if the problem really exists or not. Sometimes we have a great idea for a product and find out there really isn't a problem to solve. You've got to figure out if your customers care enough to pay to solve the problem. I have a dent in my garage door that's been there for 4 years. I am not solving that problem with money. It's fine. If it actually breaks, now we've got a problem that makes sense to fit. Do your customers care enough about the problem you've identified to pay you to solve it for them? So I'm going to use the EcoClean example through some other slides today. So EcoClean is just a sample business. Founders noticed that people are more and more worried about the chemicals being used in their cleaning when maids come to clean their home. So the problem is traditional cleaning services use harsh chemicals. The solution was they're going to use safe products, and they're going to come clean your home with safe products only. They survey local homeowners, and local homeowners say, yeah, I'd pay for that. And they run a little target campaign, and they get some customers, and they believe that they've got a problem solution fit. They figured out the problem. They figured out a solution. People have started to tell them, yeah, this looks like it's something I'd be interested in. So what about your business? How are you going to know that you have a solution that customers are willing to pay for? You've got to get your problem, your solution, and how you're going to test it. And again, the testing for them was just surveying and running a pilot program. It can be very, very small. Product market fit. You've got to have evidence now. When you get to that second step, you need evidence that your business is going to attract enough customers to generate enough revenue to build the business you want to build. You need to know that your products and services are going to create customer value, and you're going to get some traction in the marketplace. That's what product market fit is. For EcoClean, their service package is their product. It's home and office cleaning and guaranteed eco-friendly products. Their customers, they're targeting eco-conscious families and businesses within a specific metropolitan area. And to test this, they already had a little tiny pilot they ran that was successful. So now they're going to go out to more geographic areas and see if they can continue to gain some traction. For your business, you got to think about the same thing. What's your product? What's your customer segment? And how are you going to test that? And finally, you get to business model fit. You've got a business that can actually grow and sustain and that you're going to be really proud of. So now that you know the 3 basic steps, before we get into a lot more detail, I'd actually like to see where you guys are. So what stage do you think your business is in? You should have had a poll pop up that's going to ask you, are you testing your problem solution fit? Which means you've got an idea, but you're not exactly sure what it's going to look like. Are you testing product market fit? Do you have something in the marketplace and you're trying to see if enough customers are interested that you can generate some traction? Or are you ready to go? Are you ready to go get some money and really scale that thing up? Or do you still not quite understand what the 3 are and you don't know? I don't know is always a great answer to any question. So just answer that real fast for me so that I know who I'm talking to. We'll try to spend more time on where we're talking to. And it actually right now looks pretty well split. I'm going to say looks like problem solution fit is the highest group of you, which is actually really good to hear. Because like I said, that's where most businesses fail. So if you're here to learn how to figure out the problem solution fit, you are going to have a really successful business long term. So I'm going to close that because it looks like we've got over half of you responding to that, and it's almost half are testing your problem solution fit. So thank you for that. quick check. Okay, so it looks like a linear thing, right? It was 3 steps. We talked about them, step 1, step 2 to step 3. The trick here is it's hardly ever that straightforward. Your problem solution fit might be right, it might be wrong. Customers will tell you, yeah, I love that idea. I would love to pay you. I'll pay you premium pricing for that. And then you get to your product market fit, and all of a sudden, nobody wants to buy your product. But you had good responses on your problem solution fit. So something's just not right. When you hear businesses talking about pivoting, this is what they mean. If you can't get product market fit, you have to go back a step and look at your problem solution fit again. Something needs to be shifted, and then you go to test it again. You might need 2 rounds, you might need 12 rounds. You've got to figure out what the right 2 fits are here before you get to really having a strong business model. And it's not fast. So just so that you're fully prepared, this graph is from Ashmora's Scaling Lean, and it shows you the customers that you gain over time. Your customers, when you're going through problem solution fit, really it's surveying and small customers. You might have 1 to 5 customers at this point because you're trying to figure out if you're solving the right problem. That might take 3 months. It might take you a year, depends on what you're willing to put into it. Then you get to product market fit. That might take you a year. It might take you 2 years to really figure out what are the right pieces that are going to work together to grow a business. And then to scale it, that 10 times there, if you've got 5 customers to 10 times that, you need 50. To scale it up, it could be 3 years before you're really at a scale that you want to be long term. So growing a business is not fast, but the cheapest places to be are in problem solution fit and product market fit. If you try to skip steps and go straight to building this huge business and building at scale, you're likely to lose a lot more money. That is where your risk levels are. So take your time, make sure you get each fit right before you get there. Okay, so let's go back and talk about how do you actually get to the fit part. So step 1, you need a problem and a solution. It means you need 3 basic things. You need a customer, you need a problem that they care about, and you need a solution that they believe will solve their problem. Steve Jobs said, get closer than ever to your customer. You need to know what they need before they know they need it. Jeff Bezos said, we innovate by starting with the customer and working backwards. A lot of the businesses that we work with at SCORE are struggling because they never took the time to really clearly define their customer. You need a customer that you can target because it makes everything easier. And when you define your customer, you'll hear marketing people call this a persona. It's the individual person that you're trying to go after. And a lot of resources will tell you, you want 4 levels deep here. You want 4 things to focus on. You want any 4 of these things. Let's say I'm going after women in Fort Myers. That's 2, right? Gender and geographic location. You almost always have geographic location as a part. I want to go after teachers, their occupation, and I want to go after teachers in their early stage, so probably 25 to 35. So I've got Fort Myers, female teachers, 25 to 35. I've got 4 different elements here. You pick 4, you've got a pretty good customer persona, and put a name on it. Let's call her Sally, because then you can keep asking yourself, what does Sally need me to do for her? Think about what creates the problem for them. Did they just get promoted and they need coaching help to take on their new role? Is there a family birthday coming up so they need some kind of really cool gift to give a family member? And think about where they look for the solution. If your customer is not looking for the solution online, don't worry about social media. If they're calling dad and saying, hey, dad, who's a good handyman? Where do I buy lumber at? You need to make sure you're targeting family members. Or do you have a health related thing and they're going to go to their doctor? Figure out where they're going to look for you, because that's how you're going to maximize your marketing dollars is to hit those channels. Define one problem. If I look at Sally, my Fort Myers teacher in her early education days, fall in love with the problem, not the solution. Sally's got a whole lot of problems. If I fall in love with my solution, it might not fit her problem. So I'm going to brainstorm all the problems that Sally has, and I'm going to fall in love with solving the problem, not with the solution I've come up with. The value proposition canvas might help you here, where you look at what are the things that the customer's trying to get done that they want to pay you to do for them. That's your customer jobs. When they can't get it done, what's frustrating for them? What are the pains they're dealing with? And what are the gains when it goes really well? And then you match those up with the gift of your product. What are you going to do to help them relieve their pain? What are you going to do to create the gain for them? And what's the actual product or service that you're going to solve there? And then the third piece of this is to find your solution. Find your customer, find your problem, then work on your solution. Don't find customers for your products, find products for your customers. So now that you got a rough idea down, now you can deliver your solution and see, does it really work? And when you think about who you're going to ask, think about the customers who are going to be most bothered by it. Go talk to 5 of them. This is a really scary step for a lot of entrepreneurs. They just want to put their product out. But find 5 people, just 5, and go have a conversation with them and describe to them what you're trying to accomplish and see if they really are more likely to give you money to solve their problem. It is so much easier and so much cheaper to iterate right here than it will be later after you've spent the money to develop the product. And don't be afraid to hear, that's a stupid idea. I would never pay for that. You want to hear that right now so that you can iterate there. And then you go out and test it. What if you have a product you already love? So I know a lot of you come to us with, I have this product idea and I just need to get it out there. And that can be really frustrating if you have to go through this process in a linear fashion. You can go backwards. And I'm going to focus here on the second line on that chart. Let's say I'm a masseuse and I don't want to work at Massage Envy or another massage shop. I want to go to people's homes and provide them in-home services. I'm going to work the process backwards because that's my product. I'm not changing it. I'm going to do that as my business. But I got to think about the problem I'm solving. Well, one of the problems you solve as a masseuse is you lower stress and improve circulation. Okay, well, what customer is likely to have that problem? In Fort Myers, we have a lot of elderly couples where one is bedridden and the spouse is a caregiver. What if you could go into their homes and provide massages that help them with their stress level, which is huge, and their circulation issues, which are probably high because they're busy caring for their loved spouse. So I've gone backwards and created this now, but I still have the product, the customer, and the solution. I'm going to provide mobile massages to people over 65. So both genders over 65, caring for seriously ill in-home family members. So that's their behavior in the Fort Myers area. I've gone 4 levels deep, so I have a good customer definition. And it provides them the value of stress relief and circulatory improvements through massage. That's your value proposition. Once you get to this point, you've got your value proposition. A lot of people struggle with their value proposition, but it is that simple. What's your product? Who's your customer? 4 levels deep. And what value are you providing them? And then you're going to go out and test it. Customer surveys are great. Be prepared to hear answers you don't want to hear. What is the lowest cost way you can see if your solution answers a real problem for your customer better than their current alternatives? Better than the competition, better than doing it themselves or doing without. You have to provide an answer they want. Okay, you're almost there. because that's the hard problem. That's where you want to iterate. That's where you want to spend your time. You get that right, and a lot of things go easier. Step 2, though, you're ready to put it out in the marketplace and really test to see if people will really give you money for this. I like to use a lean canvas for this. This is, again, from Osmore's Scaling Lean. All the box, this is just a one-page picture of your business. It helps you kind of get a high-level visual. All the boxes that are labeled 1, you've already done. All you do is just fill it in. You've already got a problem and a solution to certain customer segments, which is your value proposition, which is the heart of your business, and that's why it's in the center. You know what problem you're solving for whom, and that's your value proposition. The 2s are the thing you need to add now. You need to get into a little bit more detail. Channels. This is are they going on social media to find you? Are they asking dad, family members for referrals, or are they going to doctors? How are you going to get to them? Key metrics, I put some examples off to the left-hand side for you. Number of new customers a month. What do you think you'll get? What do you need to get to make it make sense? How many people come back to you a second time? How many people hit your website? And of the ones that hit your website or come to you, how many come back to you, which is your retention? How many repeat customers do you have? Those are your key metrics. Then you've got the numbers on the bottom. That is the foundation of your business. You can't get away from doing the numbers. You want a cost structure that's going to be as low as possible with a revenue stream that's going to be as high as possible. How are you going to sell your products? Are you going to be on a subscription basis? Are you going to provide pay plans? All of that goes into revenue streams. Cost structure is going to be, how much is it going to cost me to get to these customers? What's my marketing cost? What's my development cost? My implementation costs? All of that goes there. There are spreadsheets that will help you do those 2 pieces. Don't stress over it too bad. Think really, really high level at this point. And don't forget to iterate. You're going to write stuff down. You're going to think that it's going to be profitable. And when you do your numbers, you're going to realize this isn't working quite right. You still haven't spent a ton of money. Iterate now, fix it later. Remember EcoClean? Let's talk about iteration for a second. They thought people would pay to have these clean products in their home and less chemicals. Customers said, yeah, I would pay for that. I'd pay extra for that. After they went and tested it, they realized, yeah, people aren't willing to pay for it. We can't seem to get any traction. So they went back to the drawing board and talked to their customers again and said, what's up? Why am I not selling? And it turns out the area that they were in was working parents. And working parents cared more about timeliness and availability than they did about the chemicals. They didn't have to give up the chemicals. They could still use that, but they needed to add and we'll have an availability promise. We'll get to you in 72 hours. And we'll make sure that people show up on time when we tell you they're going to show up. It's guaranteed. They tweaked that marketing. Well, now they can generate enough revenue to support 5 full-time employees. Now they've got product market fit. Now they can start spending real money to market this more broadly. Okay, so we're all the way there. You got to the business model fit. You got your problem, your solution, and your customers. 3 most important things you can do. You've got your value proposition. You've actually tested it in the marketing. You've got some traction. You nailed it in Fort Myers. You want to go Florida wide now. You need a business model. Startups don't fail because they lack a product. They fail because they lack customers and a profitable business model. Your business model is what's going to generate whether you can stay in business or not. So you found and validated your problem, you found a solution, you found customers. Now you want to scale. You need to make sure your business model is lean, really inexpensive production, and that it's as scalable as possible. You may need funding. Either one of those or both, that's when you need a business model. That's when you've really got to dig in and provide the details to people to get a business plan done. So what does a business plan look at? We're going to spend a little time on the business model canvas because that's really that one page, easy way to explain to people what you're doing and what you've already done. And it will help you build it out, kind of a draft. A business plan is typically more text-based. It can get very, very long, and it has a lot of detail in it. If you want funding, you've got to get all the way to a business plan. But a business model canvas is a good place to start. So we're going to start there together, and we're going to work our way up to a business plan. So business model canvas is broken down. Let's look at it in 4 big parts. Why your business exists. Your value proposition is the heart of your business, and that's why it's in the middle. The cash, define the key numbers that will drive your business, is at the bottom. That's the foundation of your business. Your customers are on the right-hand side, and how you produce things is on the left-hand side. This breaks down into 9 more boxes. The good news is you've already done most of this. You might want to tweak it. You might want to get a little bit more detailed, but you already have your value proposition done. You've got your customer segments and how you're going to get to them. You've got everything on the right-hand side done. And you've got at least a draft of your cost structure and revenue structures. So you've got the bottoms done. The only piece that's new right now is this blue section. And this blue section is all the support and the ecosystem around your business. Who are the people that you need to rely on to give you supplies? Maybe they produce a piece of your product. All of those key partners that you have to work with, you want to make sure that you're lining those out. What do they do for you? What do you have to do with your key activities? And then the key resources. Do you need lumber? Do you need nails? Do you need people? Who are your key resources? And get that documented there. Everything else is already done. You just have to provide it a little more detail. Okay, written business plans can be very, very long. There is a cheat code for this now. Thanks to AI, you've got a thought partner kind of built in, right? So I'm going to show you what I did this morning really quickly so that if you've never used AI, I'm going to show you the easiest way to get into this. I've given you a couple prompts here. And the first prompt is, I'm starting a business. Here's everything I know about my business. Pretend you're a startup consultant and tell me everything I need to turn this into a business plan. Ask me questions one at a time. If you're not careful, AI can give you a whole bunch of questions and then you get lost. Just tell it. You just want one at a time. So I am going to, give me just a second to stop sharing here. So this is what I did in ChatGPT this morning. If you've never seen ChatGPT, you put something in here, just like you're texting it. And what I put in here, see if I can get all the way to the top, is this prompt. I need you to help me build this business plan. Here's everything I know about the business. Ask me questions one at a time. I usually ask, do you understand the instructions? Because sometimes I forget a line or I copied it in wrong. So I want to make sure it knows what it's supposed to do. And yeah, he gets it. So he's going to start asking me questions now. And the first thing he wanted was my mission vision. So I added that. And then he went through target market. I'm going to skip ahead because he asked me everything he wanted to know. I got a little bit bored at this point and said, I don't know this right now. Just put in a placeholder for now so that you could get a good sense of what it would do for us. And it spit back for me. Here's all the bullet points of what I understand the business to be. And it's going to check its logic and say, is this what you meant to say? Like, yeah, that's pretty good. Now I need you to give me the final document. And this is the business plan. This took me about 10 minutes this morning, mostly because I had to remember my password to log in. ChatGPT 3.5 is free. I do have a paid version here, so it might be a little bit more detailed, but it is pretty robust even on the free version. And it wrote it all out for me. The other thing I love to do when I'm working with AI tools is try to pit them against each other. So let me show you something else I did. Once it gave me what it thought was a good business plan, I went to Bing, and Bing has Copilot built in now. And Copilot is just a different artificial intelligence tool. I gave it the business plan, cut, copy, paste. Here's my business plan. Can you help me improve it? And here's what it came back with. Your mission statement's great. I love that AI is so positive. It always tries to give you positive feedback on whatever you do. Your mission statement's great, but you forgot market size and growth potential. Yeah. Chat GPT didn't think about the competitive environment or the environment that I was working in. So Copilot said, no, you need to go back and think about this a little bit more too. It also wanted to check to see if I had affiliations or certifications. Competitive landscape, totally missed it. A SWOT analysis. If you don't know what a SWOT analysis is, you can then go in and say, I don't know what a SWOT analysis is. Tell me what that is. And it'll actually spit all of that out for you. So it gives you a way to go back and forth and figure out how to get things started for yourselves. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Okay, let me just go back here real fast. So you've gotten your business plan done. The other place I would recommend you go, SCORE has a fantastic set of modules available for you. Same place you registered for today's webinar. If you go up to workshops and event on our website at score.org, you will find Startup Roadmap as the last link there. This is a really great tool because it breaks it down into 12 modules for you in a lot of detail, including how you start. Are you ready to start a business? Remember, it's not a fast process, so it's going to help you evaluate if you really want to do this right now. Defining and validating your idea, which is where you're going to talk about your value proposition, your customer, your problem, your solution. Business plan or business model canvas, it'll lead you through that decision. And then it gives you a whole bunch of extra information about different things that you might need specifically. If you want to staff differently, if you need a physical location, it'll walk you through some of those decisions also. Okay, that's it. I went crazy fast. So hopefully you got something out of that. I don't see any open questions. I'm not sure if Ben has any. What questions do you have? And if you have a business and you want to ask a specific question, feel free. We will answer as many questions as we can get answered right now. And Ken, I don't know if you can talk, but did you find any questions? Or what did I miss that we should be talking about? How can I see this info again? Okay, I went way too fast for you. Thank you, Sharonda. So we are going to get you the link to the webinar that's recorded, and it will include all of the slides with all of the links that you can use for yourself. Couple of thanks, no problem. If I leave you with anything, it is don't force a product into the market. If you need to work backwards, work backwards. If you have a great idea and you don't know how to work backwards, if you just really have an answer and you don't know what the problem is, that's where SCORE can really help you. So the way you get to SCORE, same website, score.org, and there is this button down here called Find a Mentor. Their search mechanism is really good for this piece. It will ask you what you're looking for. If you need help with a business plan, if you need help with a business model, if you need financial analysis help, it will take you right to the people who really specialize in that kind of thing. I should also mention here that when you get through the startup roadmap and you get down to these sections, there are spreadsheet templates in there that will help you project out your revenue. They'll talk about your expenses and give you some ideas of those categories, and they'll help you with profit margin calculations. So if spreadsheets or calculations are scary to you at all, it's not a big deal. It's just filling in a form, really. And again, that's where your SCORE mentor can really help guide you to the right number and the right piece that you need to help. What other questions can I help you with? How do you search for clients to test the products? That's a great question. So if you define your client really, really well, so again, Fort Myers teachers early in their stages, there is a way to get to those people when you drill down on it really, really well. Social media is your friend here. Most occupations have a group where you can join the group, whether you're in that occupation or not, and you can kind of watch for people that are asking questions. I actually reached out. I was starting a coaching business and reached out that way to answer someone's questions, but I DM'd them. I was like, hey, I saw this question. I noticed you didn't get a lot of responses. I'd like to talk to you about that. That's how I found one. If they hang out somewhere, I just learned about this great place in Fort Myers called Choco Latte. Oh, I can't imagine that teachers aren't hanging out there to get coffee in the morning. Just go ask and start networking. There are networking events everywhere in Fort Myers. I'm going to one on May 1st. Those are great places to see if you can find like people and borrow their customers. Ask them for help. It really is a matter of word of mouth and just getting people to talk to you. Don't be afraid to ask some people for help. Resources for coming up with our market ideal customer. Ken, I'm going to ask if you have a good answer to that one. Can you think of a good resource if they're trying to come up with their ideal customer? You want to make sure that it's a big enough group that you can target. It's specific enough that you can actually get to the problems and solutions. I'm going to think about that one while I look at other questions. So I have not forgotten you.
Lisa, can you hear me now?
Please.
Okay. It's a good question. I don't have an immediate answer, but it is something I'd like to think about and possibly respond later.
And I would encourage the person that asked that question to get a mentor. Call, get a mentor. It's really easy to set up a time. We try to be really flexible with times. If you want to meet by video, even if you just want a quick phone call, if we know your specific business, it will help us generate ideas about how you can find the right people or scale the market size. There's another one here asking for the link to ChatGPT. There are a lot of sites. Let me look at mine. I believe if you go to chat.openai.com, that will probably do it for you. And I'm going to send that also so that everybody has it. But AI is amazing. It's growing very, very quickly. It's gotten a little ahead of the marketers, even, believe it or not. So people are still struggling to get their links right, but that should be the right link for you. Okay, I think I hit everybody's question. Any other ones that you want to talk about? Again, I highly recommend the startup roadmap. Just try it. You can skip through it. You can skip around. And I would get a score mentor. So just so that you know how easy this is, we try to get answers back to you guys when you fill out the form on the website. We try to get back to you within 48 hours. It can go faster than that. It just depends on whether that person is available. But we are always open. There's also a live chat on the website, and someone, maybe not a Fort Myers person, but someone who is a certified mentor is always there to answer questions and help you get connected. So use the live chat on the website also. Okay, I'm going to let you guys have a longer lunch than you intended to because you've been so attentive and have gotten great questions. So I think we're finished unless, Ken, you have anything else?
I think it was a great seminar. I learned a lot as well. So thank you.
Oh, awesome. I hope everybody got a little bit out of it. Please, 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 customer problem solution. You start there. your score mentor can help you fill in all the details and get all the data. So thank you so much for your attention. We appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you soon at another event. Thank you.